Good evening, Monday night, just past 9 o'clock, and you are joining us on the road south on our little road trip. Today, there's one face back and a special guest joining us very soon. Before we get to the special guest and introduce him, I will get an intro right eventually. Ed, welcome back. How's it going?
Yeah, good man.
Super Bowl?
Pardon?
Was it a good Super Bowl for you?
I enjoyed it. I know people have said it wasn't much. I appreciate people saying it wasn't a classic, but it was a very good game of football. The Seattle defense just killed the contest, didn't they? Really, from a neutral perspective. But I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, I'd kill for the Colts defense to be like that one day. Nathan, welcome back. I wasn't going to mention it, but since Ed did, commiserations to the Six Nations. It looks like you're getting the wooden spoon.
We've given it out enough in my 33 years on Earth, so it's only about time we get it back. But no, I mean, what's more depressing, talking about losing out the second half of the season or talking about Welsh rugby? I generally don't know.
I think you've just got to give it a kaboom, haven't you, mate? Kaboom!
I mean, can I just say, as somebody with Italian family, I quite enjoy the Italians not being the perennial wooden spoon in the Six Nations. So,
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Not much of a silver lining for you, sorry. But,
just keep piding it on, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Especially now that we're live as well.
Yeah, sorry.
So enough about the bastard cousin of the sport we are actually here to talk about. And doing that, I actually decided to get someone with some intelligence on to give some decent insight instead of me saying win the fucking game, Ed saying I don't care, and Nathan just being fed up. Joining us on the road trip site, road trip south tonight. Buckle your seatbelt, start your engines, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Hatch of the Cold Beer Podcast.
Evening, chaps. I mean, I don't know about intelligence, but I'll see what I can do.
I think that's how the Colts have run their season, mate. So don't worry about it.
They'll have me back then. How are we all? All good?
We're all good. Sam, again, thanks for your time. I think the last time we did spoke, everything was looking rosy. We was going 8-2. We was heading to the Super Bowl. We was in Berlin, enjoying the drinks, enjoying Jonathan Taylor setting franchise history. Where did it all go wrong?
I mean, I don't know. That was the last game I watched. So as far as I'm aware, everything's been rosy the rest of the season. I mean, where did it go wrong? Just anything that could go wrong did go wrong. So still not fully over it yet. But I mean, it's February. The new season starts soon.
Yeah. So before I let the boys pest you with some questions, if they got any, how are you? How's the Colts Beer Podcast doing? What have you got coming up? Any special guests?
Yeah, no, it's all good. We've been struggling just to find time, but I think it's penciled in we're going early on Thursday, I think 3:00 on Thursday. I think we got JJ Stankovic again from
amazing
Colts on Thursday, and maybe Lara Overton. Not 100% certain. Don't hold me to that, but I think that they're both coming on together.
You can't just name drop them two names like it's nothing. Right?
Yeah, no. So I mean, we definitely got to thank Andreas and Christoph for the hook up there. So yeah, no, really excited to have those guys on. And who knows, maybe we'll have some big free agent signing news. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully. Ed, Nathan, have you, before I get into it, got any questions for Sam you had thought of or you want to speak of?
Yeah, I'll definitely ask one. I mean, how hard was it to stay kind of, ahead of the curve in terms of all that you do for, the EU fandom and the UK fandom when the Colts just fell off a cliff? How hard was that?
It's a struggle. And I don't know. There's a part of me where, we've got plenty of practice in this. Like, it's certainly not the first season where we've had high hopes and they've been dashed. I think normally we tend to go terrible at the start, then we bring it back, and then we kind of fall apart again in the last kind of couple of weeks of the season. So I don't know. I mean, we are what we are. We're fans, right? So it hurts a lot when you see the team go through what they've gone through. But then on the other hand is you know that it's not really going to change how you feel about the team. You know, even if we think they're making bad decisions, at head coach, GM, they are. But it is what it is. Colts fans till we die. So just got to keep going. And you know, I think I'd be surprised. I mean, all fingers crossed that maybe we get a London road game this season. But I'd be surprised if we see the Colts over this side of the pond this year. But you know, just build it back up till hopefully 2027, where, you know, it could be another trip to Berlin, possibly.
Fingers crossed. Ed?
Yeah, I know we've spoken a lot off there, but I think it's just interesting just to get your point again, because I do value your opinion, Sam, massively as a fan. You said there everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
Specifically, where do you think the real sort of issues were in 2025, 26? Was it the injury to Daniel Jones? Was it, you know, injuries to DeForest Buckner? Because I think that played a huge part, to be honest with you. Drop off in form, Shane Steichen just getting lost in his own head. You know, or do you just think it's just like one of those perfect storm things where, you know, where, like you say, everything that could go wrong did go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely some things that were worse than others in terms of why it went wrong. I think you mentioned Buck there, and I think that losing Buckner just goes to show just how poor the defensive line is that's been put together. You know, especially when you factor in how much resource has gone into that defensive line. There's plenty of money in there. There's plenty of draft picks in there, and it's just not been good enough. You know, and you can't expect your three-tech defensive tackle who's in his 30s to be the thing that holds it together. You know, you need to have you've put 2 first rounders in, Latu and Pay, on both ends of that line, and they've just, you know, jury's not fully out on Latu yet. I think there's some glimpses there, but you know, Pay's going to be gone in the summer. You know, he won't be a Colt this season, or next season, I should say. So it's just, and for someone, you know, Chris Ballard, you know, you win it in the trenches. You know, that's his philosophy, and he is massively whiffed on, you know, definitely on the defensive side of the ball. And you know, the offensive line is also probably something that was starting to look like it was going wrong. You know, before Jones got the injury, you know, the Steelers game, he didn't have like 2 seconds that game. You know, that was probably the worst performance the offensive line had. And I know there's some things that happened, you know, outside of football for Matt Gonsalves that week. So there's, you know, you don't want to put that on him or the team. But yeah, I think Jones's injury, and I've said this to the guys in the chat, and I've said it on Instagram and things like that. This is such a hard season to evaluate for Carly and the guys at the top of the organization, because of how everything fell. You know, we were looking so good with Daniel Jones, and, you know, the offensive performance was setting records, you know, historically good offense, but it all happened at the wrong time. You know, that was happening against teams like the Titans. You know, we had the Titans twice, the Dolphins, the Raiders, poor football teams. And I'm not saying that we just bullied poor football teams, because we looked good offensively against the Chargers. You know, the Rams game wasn't Jones's best performance, but it still wasn't a terrible offensive performance. And we had AD Mitchell basically lose the game for us on offense there. But it's hard to evaluate what happened, because it started to, you know, the Steelers game, there was concerns. You looked at Jones, you know, I think that the picky through the middle linebacker, definitely a concern. And then there was offensive line was falling apart. And even, you know, in Germany, if you look back at the game, we had some fantastic moments that kind of won us that game, but there was quite a lot of poor play on show, especially first half from the offense. So it's hard to say. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, if Daniel Jones didn't get injured, we win the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. There were some signs there that maybe there was a kind of revert to form for Daniel. But I think, you know, I'd imagine hindsight's a great thing, but if they just sat Daniel Jones for 4 weeks with the fractured leg, let that heal up, you know, and we've seen what Riley did. You know, he wasn't phenomenal, but, you know, against the Texans team that's a good defense, you know, I know they played second string as kind of third and fourth quarter, but he was looking very good in the first half in that game. You just think, you know, there's some decisions there that just maybe didn't make a whole lot of sense. the Rivers thing was great, and it kind of gave us like, talking points, and it was good to see a comeback, or someone put their mind to a comeback and actually achieve it. But you think for the good of the organization long term, was that the right decision? Riley didn't look terrible when he spotted Jones against Jacksonville. He wasn't great, wasn't terrible, horrible weather that day. Could just rode that, just to see. I guess it's the same thing that we've probably, those of us who still believe in AR, have argued. We don't know what we've got because we don't see it. It's like just with Riley, you had the chance there to just run with him and see. Even if you just did it in Seattle, one game, give Philip Rivers 2 weeks to get off the couch, and just test it out. So yeah,
it took Philip Rivers 2 weeks to get up, didn't it, on that play? When he
the one he slipped over.
He slipped over. Honestly, and that's really one moment.
Felt bad for him. You just
yes, I know I do. It's like, oh no, you're going to get murdered.
Still crazy to think though what Uncle Phil did.
Yeah,
in terms of understanding that Seattle defense in 48 hours.
Yeah,
you look at how bewildered Drake May and that Patriots O-line was.
Yeah.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for it. It's just fascinating how he unpicked it all so quickly. Imagine he had a week's prep. We could have won that game. It's just crazy to think. Like,
I mean, he's going to make a great coach, right? And obviously he's doing it at high school level right now, but he's going to make a great coach in the NFL someday.
I do think that there's one is obviously he's incredibly experienced. You can't buy experience, but also I think there's certain things you can't teach. And if you've got that brain, I think there are certain, you can have all the athleticism in the world, but having that football IQ and being able to, like you said, Nathan, to dissect that defense as quickly as he did and take a Colts team that was on the ropes at that point to within, what did we lose by 2 points in Seattle? Was it 18-16? Yeah. It was a field goal, wasn't it? Yeah. Like I said, I don't think you can teach that. I think that's legit. I mean, obviously you'd like to think you can because he's going to be a coach and that's what he's going to sell to get a job, that you can teach it. But I think that there are things that you just have, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Like you can just see things.
There's two types of superpowers for QBs, isn't there? There's the Lamar Jacksons and then there's the Philip Rivers. both opposite end of the spectrum, but I think the signing of Philip Rivers and sort of seeing it out was he never was athletic. It was never mobile, I suppose, is the better point. He's athletic, but it was never, Philip Rivers has slung it 70 yards to Keenan Allen. It was always 10-yard slants, but like you're saying, Nathan, that was his superpower, so it made sense. You sort of segued me there nicely to the Super Bowl and Drake May. Sam, I'll come to you because I think this is important for the Patriots. Not that I want the Patriots to succeed in any vein of life because they're dirty cheats and they've always have been and always will be. But is it important for Mike Vrabel and the Patriots to stick with Drake May rather than just try and find an answer?
Oh yeah, I mean that would be pretty crazy. I know, obviously, the Patriots are kind of, when I was talking about how hard it is to evaluate our season, obviously the Patriots have made it to the Super Bowl with what I think the worst or the third worst schedule in NFL history. I think to make it to the Super Bowl, it wasn't even just to make the Super Bowl, just the third weakest schedule. You just think, again, that's a hard one to make because when it hit the playoffs, I mean, wow, he kind of made CJ Stroud look like a good playoff quarterback. Drake May did this. It was concerning, but yeah, I mean, you couldn't. Like, I look at that Patriots roster on offense, and nothing is like particularly amazing. Wide receiver corps is fine. I don't think there's anything special there. Offensive line, I mean, it completely fell apart, didn't it? Obviously,
yeah.
Super Bowl. So I mean, you can't. I was quite surprised they didn't use Drake May's legs more. I think I read that he had a shoulder injury or something like that. I think that was one of the Patriots fans' excuses post Super Bowl. But I watched that game and I thought, why is he not using his legs? Like, the guy's athletic. I mean, they're hounding him. Why are they not trying to use his legs?
Would you use your legs against that Seattle defense?
I mean, maybe more than what he could with his arms in that game.
Yeah, it was. What did you think of the Super Bowl then? Because I as I said offline, we on this show we don't buy into the bullshit narrative media that goes around that this is the worst Super Bowl ever. There's no such thing, right? There's obviously blowouts. There's the worst Super Bowl for the neutrals. But for me, this was just Seattle's insane defense and the Patriots managing to keep up a great defense for 40 minutes. It just couldn't hang on because obviously there was on the field for an impossible amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought, like you said, the defenses were just lights out. Seattle's was ridiculoly good. I mean, watching what they did to Will Campbell was borderline murder. Like it was crazy that how bad he played it or how much he got dominated in that game. And then I think from the Seahawks offensive side of the ball, I mean, especially as Colts fans, it was good to see a running back kind of take over a game. That's kind of what our bread and butter's been this season. It didn't really, when Daniel Jones was playing well, he was playing well, but it helped to have a 200-yard rusher that could absolutely dice up defense. I thought Kenneth Walker looked really good. I think a good Super Bowl. Great that the Patriots lost, so an even better Super Bowl for Colts fans. So, definitely not the worst Super Bowl. I mean, I think you had the Rams one. I can't remember. That was a few years ago. That was poor. But I enjoyed it. I didn't buy into all the discourse about the half. Just reading people on Facebook about how upset people could get about a halftime show. It's just like, why? Don't watch it.
Yeah, it's insane that Americans are upset with American performing a halftime show. Insane.
I was just going to say on the halftime show, that's exactly it for me, Sam. I'm going to be totally honest with you, and this is probably an age thing. I hadn't heard of Bad Bunny. I don't know any of Bad Bunny's songs. I couldn't tell you a Bad Bunny song if it came on, so I didn't watch it. Not because for any other reason other than it's just music that I'm not interested in. That's literally it. And that's all it boils down to. The show looked like an excellent production. Like I can appreciate the production for what it is in the same way that I can appreciate performance at the ballet or something. I'm not going to watch it because I'm not interested in it, but I can still respect it for the spectacle that it is, if that makes sense. I have a thing in my house, I always watch these halftime show back with my daughter the next day because she's into dancing and music and that kind of thing. Because that's her thing and she likes it. But it's not the last halftime show that I enjoyed, and again I'm showing my age here, was probably the one with Eminem, Dre, Snoop, because that's the music I grew up listening to. Do you know what I mean? It's relevant to you because it's something that you enjoy watching. I think and when Usher did it a couple of years ago, Usher was it's music that I've listened to, so I'm gonna more likely enjoy it. So it's got nothing to do with him and how he performs or anything like that. It's just I don't know who Bad Bunny is. It's not my thing. That's all it boils. So I didn't watch it. So that's as far as it goes for me. But I can still respect it for what it is. That's kind of my approach to the halftime show. I just don't see why people need to get so bent out of shape. Next year, if it's somebody that I've heard of, I'll probably watch it. Like, for example, I enjoyed watching Green Day before the Super Bowl because, again, I listened to Green Day growing up. That's the music I know the songs. That's just standard, isn't it? I just thought that's how people enjoy music. You listen to stuff you know and you recognize. I don't know Bad Bunny's songs, so I'm not going to watch it. Sorry, I just had to get that. I've had that for 2 weeks. Just that's it. I don't see what the big deal is. So I think, Sam, you've hit the nail on the head. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
I'm going to say, for me, it was a good show, but I just chilled out. It was 3 a.m. over here, so I was just chilled out on my couch eating an ice lolly watching it. I'm old fashioned, I'd rather have halftime highlights and have the red zone guy Hansen talking about what it was or something. I suppose it's alien to us, and if your team's not in it, you probably don't remember the halftime show, do you? Like the only one I particularly remember is Prince, of course. I couldn't tell you the 08 one, obviously, because we lost. So,
goodness.
It's just enjoy it, chill out.
If we're going to go down the halftime rabbit hole, which was an unexpected turn to this episode, did anybody watch the Netflix one at Christmas with Snoop Dogg when he had the K-pop and Andrea Bocelli. I like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Again, but that's because it's music that I know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just if you know the music, like and Detroit when they had Eminem and I can't remember now. But I like that as well. Yeah. So good, I can't remember who it was. But do you know what I mean? It's my point is, if you know the music, you're more likely to enjoy it. Surely that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. Oh, was it White Stripes or was the guy?
That's
from the
it. Yes, Sam. Yeah. Yes. Well done.
Yeah. I was just going to say, last note on this, I couldn't think of anything worse of your team being 3-0 down in the FA Cup final, and then I don't know, Nicole Scherzinger coming out to perform. Mate, I guess
Do you know what, Harrison? It always makes me laugh because I always, every time I watch these big American shows, I always think, could you imagine translating this into England? Like Man United Arsenal is about to start. You would say, get on with it. Yeah. Get off, dickhead. Like you would, wouldn't you? You just wouldn't. It just wouldn't translate into English sport at all. Yeah. British sport, I should say.
So enough of the most pointless game in the world, the Super Bowl. And into some more important things like the NFL Combine, free agents, re-signings, all the interesting stuff if you don't like watching football. So we will start with you, Nathan, because you're a bit quiet over there. But your number one re-signing, your number one free agent you'd like to sign?
I just want to say my dream Super Bowl halftime show for next year is Metallica. They were rumored to be in the mix this year, and they have to do it soon. Like, come on, Roger, put Metallica on the fucking halftime show. Then we'd have zero complaints because who doesn't like Metallica? My dream free agent signing. Now, everybody, get the cameras out, get the clips ready because I'm predicting the future. I did it with JSN. I'm going to do it with this guy. It's Jameis Winston. Because when Daniel Jones can't walk because of how bad the Achilles injury is, could you imagine Jameis Winston just chuck it up, let Jesus take the wheel? Alec Pierce is going to get 2,000 yards next year with Jameis Winston starting for the Indianapolis Colts. So, dream free agent signing is Jambo.
The vibes would be unmatched. They would be unmatched.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, when we all want to, like, you know, jump off cliffs and stuff, watching Shane fail against, a team that's over 500, imagine Jambo's interviews afterwards. He'd sort the mood of this fan base out completely. But no, in all seriousness, that he is one of my dream free agents genuinely. But I think my ultimate dream is Alec Pierce. You know, I just can't imagine him on another team right now. And I've been quite vocal about this, all year. I've got nothing against Pittman. I think he's been a great Colt. Do I think he's a wide receiver one? No. Do I think he's been let down by Ballard's inability to fix the quarterback position? Yes. I'd like Pittman to move on to pastures new and probably expand his game to which us as Colt fans have never seen before. And I'd like Alec to be in that one position. And I really, really think we're going to see, a one akin to like Mike Evans or something like that. I think AP is the must-have free agent.
Ed?
So when you say one that we re-sign or one that we just go out, because I'd be with, I mean, for the sake of not making this show incredibly boring, I think Alec Pierce is an absolute no-brainer. I mean, given your name, I don't think there's a single Colt fan in the entire universe that doesn't.
It was boring of me, I'm sorry.
No. It wasn't boring. What I'm saying is that I think all four of us could quite cheerfully sort of sit here. I would say, if we take Alec Pierce off the table, because Nathan's we've already re-signed him, so out of what's left, in terms of re-signing players, I mean, it has to be Daniel Jones, doesn't it? I mean, out of the free agents that that we've out of the players that are going to be free agents on our team after Alec Pearce, I would say Daniel Jones getting that and I know, Sam, I can almost feel you desperate to jump in here at the price point, and I agree. Before I'll let you take over. But if we get the contract right, it has to be Daniel Jones, because the Colts aren't in a position to draft the quarterback. There's no point, in my opinion. I don't know who else out. I know you mentioned Jameis Winston. Yeah, that would be great fun, but I'm not against it. But other than that, other free agent sort of quarterbacks, you've got what? Malik Willis, who's
the QB market this year is horrendous.
Aaron Rodgers, if he leaves Pittsburgh, like absolutely big swerve. Trey Lance, which is just like which is just Anthony Richardson, sort of the prototype, isn't it? So the Colts have to get Daniel Jones done. Whether he's fit to go in September, I'd be amazed, unless they've got some sort of super duper surgeon that we're not aware of. I don't that Achilles injury scares the crap out of me, if I'm being honest with you. I mean, the most recent example, if you take Rodgers away because he's about 50, is if you look at Kirk Cousins, he's not been the same player, has he, since he's had that Achilles injury. And I'd argue Daniel Jones being more mobile and not really having a huge arm in the first place. And obviously you need to use your feet to kind of position yourself. That Achilles injury worries me. So get the deal done, but get it sort of, I don't know, I don't think they will do this, but like a pay-as-you-play kind of deal year one, and then the real money comes in year two. I don't think Daniel Jones would do a deal like that, but that's what I'd like to see happen. And get Riley Leonard ready to go in September for the first month or so, because I think that's probably what we're going to have to see. But yeah, my long-winded answer would be get Daniel Jones done. Is the player to re-sign. In terms of free agents, Adefe Owa from from the Chargers.
Nice choice.
Nice pickup, yeah.
It's a player it's an area that we need. I don't think it will happen. I think he's going to end up at the Ravens with Jesse Minter personally, but that's a player that I like. Stats might not be incredible, but he always seems to show up whenever I've seen the Chargers, and it's in a position that we need. So yeah, and I don't think he'd cost as much as a Trey Hendrickson, which I think is going to be important. I think there's got to be a little bit of juggling this off season. So that's potentially why I'd look at him as opposed to Trey Hendrickson, or the big news today, a certain Dolphin, Bradley Chubb.
Thought you were going to say the other one for a second.
Oh God, no. I mean, that's absolutely the last thing the Colts need is anything like that. No, definitely not. No, but Bradley Chubb's player I've always liked, to be fair. And I think I said this last summer when we had your friend Dave on, Harrison, the Dolphins. So if there was one player I would take out of that team, it would probably have been him, or Jalen Phillips, who obviously went off to the Eagles. So I think Bradley Chubb's a bit older than Adefe Owa, though, and probably be more expensive and has a bit more of an injury history. So I
agree. I forgot some fucking news. Let Sam go first and then come back to me. I wonder if Sam's got the same one as me.
Okay. Well, that's where I go. So re-sign Daniel Jones and sign free agent Adefe Owa. I'm done. Sorry.
Yeah, go on, Sam.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, yeah, first of all, I don't need to bang the drum for AP. I mean, that's a no-brainer. If he's not getting signed, he's getting tagged. He's definitely a Colt. So I've got no fear there. Daniel Jones, I completely agree. He's got to be the quarterback for the Colts next season. I think he showed. Yes, there's question marks. I have question marks, not just about the injury. There was some dodgy-ish play, kind of Berlin and the Steelers game. But yeah, he just has to be. I think even just listening to the guys talk about him, everyone, AP said it pretty much. I think the clear down day after we were out said, it would go a long way to him coming back if Daniel Jones is back. You heard Pittman Super Bowl week, Jonathan Taylor Super Bowl week. They all rave about him as a player and just as a teammate. So got to bring it back. I think we're going to mortgage the future for it, which is a concern. But we as far as a negotiating tactic goes, I'm pretty certain you're not supposed to tell people just how amazing they are and how important they are before you get the signing done. That's just how I would probably approach it. But yeah, no, bring him back. And then, I mean, outside of those two for the Colts free agents, I mean, I think Mo Ali Cox actually didn't have a terrible season this year. If you're gonna have the kind of tight end sets that we need, you got Tyler Warren, you got your actual proper tight end, your receiving tight end, Tyler. I think Mo does a job still blocking. Nick Cross for me is the one I think we're probably going to have to let go, and I think it's not something I want to do. I would like to see him back. I think pass defense, maybe he struggled a little bit, especially towards the end of the season. I think, but you could maybe attribute to that all the injuries at cornerback. We just weren't great towards the end of the season. But I just don't see how we can pay Pierce, Jones, and Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to sort out the defensive line. You've got to sort out the defensive line. You've got to sort out linebacker. There's so many things to fix. I think going to your point, Nathan, is Pitt's got to either restructure, and it's got to be a really good restructure, or he's a trade candidate for sure. And you're probably only going to get a fourth, maybe not even a fourth for Michael Pittman with his contract, which would be a shame. He's a great Colt. Love Michael Pittman. I lean towards restructuring him just because I wonder. Again, coming back to the money side of things, is if we lose Pittman, you've still got to replace him with someone that can play on the outside. Josh Downs can't really play on the outside as a wide receiver too. So, looking at the free agents, I was looking at the wide receivers. Nothing is Mike Evans is out there, but I'd imagine he'll be back in Tampa. I don't see him going elsewhere. If you're just looking for like a 1 year stopgap, maybe him and Pitt kind of. I'd call Pittman kind of a poor man's Mike Evans. He's kind of similar style.
Absolutely.
In play. You've got Christian Kirk, but he's going to be way more money than Pittman, to be honest. He's probably going to make a fortune in the free agent market. Rashid Shaheed, he kills us every time he plays against us, but again, not really a Pittman replacement. So I'd lean towards restructuring Pitt. Other free agents, I think Gallimore, not flashy, nothing spectacular, but I think when you compared him to what we've rolled out behind Grove and Buck in previous years, he was a massive improvement. So I'd probably take him back, and he's not going to cost a fortune. Outside free agents for me, I think you nailed it, Edge absolutely would take him. Young, good player. I think I'm very anti Trey Hendrickson. I just don't get it. The guy's been injured a lot recently. It feels like everything's setting up for him. I think we've now got his defensive line coach from the Bengals has come over. Also, someone. I think he was at college, but he's come back to the Colts now to be our DL coach. So it looks like they probably will make a play at Trey Hendrickson, but I think it's going to be way too much money for a guy who's been injured and is aging. You're only going to get 1, maybe 2 years max out of him. So, but for me, outside of those guys, is Devin Lloyd. I think he's a fantastic linebacker. So I would just snap him up, and I'd send Zaire to wherever someone
McDonald's.
And I think we just need a linebacker that can actually do everything, cover. Since we lost the Maniac, the linebacker core has been poor. So for me, linebacker's massive this year.
Yeah, we're weirdly in a weird place, as much sense as that makes, as in we need a lot, but we actually can't get a lot because we're just hamstrung because of everything that went wrong. Like you say, how often do you send 2 firsts somewhere and then that player's injured in a non-contact injury, fucking second game in. But no, interesting names, different names. Obviously, the re-signings for me are just obvious. It's Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce. And like Sam said, I would love to keep Nick Cross and develop him even further. I think he's been a standout defender this year. A bit boom or bust in his coverage, but you're going to get that from a young sort of like developing second contract player. But if we wanted to go cheaper there, maybe draft someone. I believe this is a strong secondary draft class from what I was reading. And I'm no draft expert, so don't take that as gospel. So I would go out and get linebacker. My choice maybe a bit cheaper, but maybe again someone who can bring a bit in left field, a bit like Jermaine Pratt is. I know he's younger, but Jalen Phillips from the Eagles. Is that the right name? I get mixed up. Obviously, the Eagles have not had the year they want. They managed to, who guessed it, self-employed in head coach Nick Sirianni. Who would have seen that one coming? But also a bit less of a bit more of a gritty, bit less sexy, maybe some rotation and help for Gonzalez. But if you could get Tyler Lindenburn from the Ravens, I think.
Oh, yeah. Center,
yeah.
Or guard?
I think he's center, yeah.
Center, yeah.
It could probably play guard as well. But,
you rotate.
Yeah. But that could be a pickup where, if you could get him on a 1 year, 12 million sort of deal or something like that, it could really stuff up the line. Because I do think, like Sam mentioned, the line just seemed to be teetering in the second half last year. And it was like, this could either implode or we could find our feet. But no, some really interesting names there. And as we know, Chris Ballard would do absolutely nothing. So moving on to bigger and brighter things, a bit of a extremely way too early AFC power rankings. I can't remember if I asked you guys to prepare for it, but I definitely asked Sam. So I'll ask Sam to go first with these AFC South power rankings.
I hate not putting the Colts at 1. Let's go from the bottom. I'll put the Titans at 4. I actually think they might have something in Cam Ward, but I think they're probably going to be at least another season away from being able to truly compete. The defense was just horrible last season, so I don't know if they'll be able to completely fix that. At 3, see, I struggle this. I want the Colts at 1. The Colts are at 1. You probably got to have the Jags at 2, but then you can't. The Texans' defense is just disgustingly good. But offensively, I don't know. I mean, I've kind of been out on CJ Stroud for a lot, and initially it was just because I'm a Colts fan, so I hated him. But now there's actual play on tape where you can be like, is he really the future? I'm not so sure. So I'm going to put the Texans at 3. I'm going to have the Jags at 2. And I'm going to have the Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen revenge tour at 1.
Riley Leonard led Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're not at 1 next year, then we might be at 4 for a couple of seasons when we blow it all up and start again. So I think this truly is, I can't remember what Carly's words were, urgent winning or something urgent. But yeah, this is the year for us. So I'm gonna keep faith. I'm gonna stick us at 1.
The urgency of winning has never been higher. So I'll go second then. We'll go reverse order, I guess. The 4, the Titans. They appointed Robert Saleh. Is that right, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Call him, please, too, Weedley.
Yeah, he didn't do a great job at the Jets. I can't see him doing he's not the sort of coach you want in that franchise. Not because I think he's terrible by any means, but he's the coach that you have when you're going on an upward trajectory. He's not the coach you have to get you on an upward trajectory. So them at 4. I'm going to put, and I'm obviously putting the Colts at 1. These boys know this. We're going 17-0. But I'm going to put Jacksonville at 3 because I think the second season slump will hit Liam Cohen hard. He got away with a few wins last year. For some reason, the 49ers would shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they've pretty much guaranteed the win when he plays the Colts in Jacksonville, so that's automatically guaranteed the win. And watch this come back to bite me massively again. But there was a lot of pieces moving, and there still is a lot of pieces moving in that Jacksonville building. And like I said, I think the rub of the green went their way sometimes. Texans at 2 because they have a fantastic defense and I like DeMeco Ryans. And then the Colts at 1 because, like I say, Riley Leonard's taken us to the Super Bowl. There's not much more to say than that. And I'm hoping that maybe Zaire Franklin would be out of the building by the start of the season. So, Ed.
I think Zaire Franklin will be a Colt for a very long time, mate. It
makes me fucking say that. Just makes me
say that. Power rankings. I mean, I'm just going to say something maybe a little bit controversial on the Titans, but Robert Saleh didn't do a horrendously bad job at the Jets, considering nobody does a good job at the Jets. Like, that franchise is just, I don't think that's necessarily a barometer for how good of a head coach someone's going to be, although he did get a lot more than a lot of other coaches have. They did certainly go for it, inverted commas. But their defense was good, and he done a good job in San Fran this year, considering that pretty much every defender that could get injured seemed to get injured, including possibly the best linebacker in all football. And they carried on winning. Colts take a... You can win with injuries, apparently. So I don't think I agree with your point, Sam. I think I'm intrigued with Cam Ward. I think they might have something, but it's very early to tell, isn't it? I think Salah will do an all right job there. I think they might be better than people think next year. I think he will sort the defense out, but they'll still finish 4th as things stand on February the 16th, before draft, free agency, camp, everything. But yeah, we'll leave them where they are. I'm going to be slightly contrarian. I'm going to put the Colts at 3. I think the Texans have got a championship caliber defense with a mediocre quarterback, which I still think puts them ahead of where we are. And I think Jacksonville are a better team at the moment, in all honesty. I just think they might not have better individual players, but I think they're a better team. How I would put those two is difficult because, like I say, I think the Texans defense legitimately, I think, and I said this on here, I think they missed an opportunity this year. Mm-hmm. That I think they had a real shot at making a Super Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. Bit like the Broncos, like missed opportunities. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going anywhere. History tells us that teams that are there or thereabouts eventually do get there. And I don't think that the Texans are going anywhere. I just think they need to sort their... CJ Stroud, I mean, we talk about seeing ghosts. Fuck knows what he was seeing in that game in New England. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was like Ghostbusters all over, weren't it? He was all over the show. So, yeah, I'll put them at 2 for that reason. And Jacksonville, number 1, as things stand.
So this is Ed's last appearance on the Southbound podcast. Nathan, we're setting you up for a grand slam here.
Okay, 4th, Titans. I mean, they need a whole new O-line. I don't think they have any receivers once Calvin Ridley eventually gets cut because he was absolute dog shit last year. I think they need a better running back. They may be able to get one this year, but again, would you really draft Love over all their other needs? I just can't see that happening at all. I think their defense will be better, but it's just not. They need 2 or 3 years, I think, and Ward will benefit from it too because he can ultimately play under no pressure. Or hopefully, anyway. Hopefully, the fan base stick with him. He looks pretty good. Gonna go with some science-based facts here. 3rd, I'm going Houston Texans. I think it'll be very, very close with 2nd place. We've talked about the defense. they're sticking with their OC for now. I understand, or at least they haven't announced it. I just don't think their offense will compete with a better schedule. We need to remember they're going to have one of the strongest schedules in the league next year. I just don't think they'll win some of those close games that tends to happen in that part of the schedule. Second, I'm going to go with the Colts. We will have an easy schedule next year, and Shane Steichen can win those games. That's all I'm really going to say without shitting on Shane even more. And like Sam said, the top of this organization is very clearly all in right now. And what better way to be all in than having a easier schedule than you did last year? And at least it'll pad Shane's win lineup playing against teams that are below 500. So good luck to Shane when he eventually interviews for his next job. Number one will be the Jacksonville Jags, who you're probably going to hate me for this, but I literally think they're turning into, a really good team in this league. I'm still not fully convinced on Lawrence yet, and they probably feel the same. Like, I don't want to be too extreme, but I think this is Lawrence's make or break season, in the same way that Kyler Murray had one very recently. They've paid him a hero's ransom. And that team looks legitimately good. They look great on defense, and I'm a big fan of Cohen and his play calling. I fucking love and I respect that he self-reflected that his offense was too complex at the start of the year, simplified it, and then they got to the playoffs. That's coaching, not out coaching yourself so you can look good to all the podcasters in America.
So Nathan wants Shane Steichen back for another year.
Run it back with Shane.
Can I just
run dead? Yeah, I thought it was pretty good for the victory all in those words. Then
can I just jump on your point, Nathan, now about Trevor Lawrence? Have the Seahawks not just proved what you can do with an above average, if we're being kind, quarterback?
Completely, and it's a great debate, dude.
I'm going to jump in straight away. Trevor Lawrence isn't. He's a bum. He's an absolute bum. Overhyped first round pick. I would take Anthony Richardson over Trevor Lawrence.
I think, I'm going to ask you a question, Ed, right? So the Jags game in the playoffs this year, they get the ball back and they have to go up the whole field. Take yourself back to that moment. What did you think Trevor was going to do?
Yeah.
Did you think he was going to throw the interception, or did you think he was going to go up the field?
No, I didn't think he got up the field. You're right.
So I was sat with two mates, and they got the ball back, and I was like, pick you. It was like, what was it? Was it 1st and 10 or 2nd and...
Yeah, 2nd and 13 or something like that.
Yeah. And it was like, here we go. I was like, this is going to be an interception. Boom. And it was. He's that type of QB. And honestly, I think you're spot on with the Seahawks showing what you can do. But credit to Darnold as well. I mean, he diced in these playoffs, really, didn't he? He's been spectacular.
It's almost like a backhanded compliment to Sam Darnold, because he is better than, I think it's his kind of previous CV is always going to sort of count against him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a bit unfair, maybe, because he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback now. So you've got to, give him his flowers. I don't know. I just think with Trevor Lawrence, maybe another off season with Liam Cohen, like you said, he simplified the offense for him once. Can he kind of iron out those? Can you iron out those sort of boneheaded moments, I suppose, like you say, where he does just do something you think, oh God, because I think the Jags, like you say, man, I think they're a good team, unfortunately.
Remember, I'm saying this for every other idiot dynasty fantasy football player who took Travis Hunter over Omari and Hampton. Hunter's going to have another year in, their league, right? And everything that comes with that. And I think they're probably going to move off and being a dual threat. Or that's at least what the news says.
Yeah.
They have to.
I think I hope he ends up as a receiver. I don't know if that's what the news is suggesting. I think they think he's going to move into cornerback, but it could be fascinating if Hunter takes like a genuine step next year on the offense. Because again, you're thinking about simplification, slot, mesh, that's Hunter's game, right? Or at least that's what he showed last year. So, yeah, I think it's a fascinating team, and they'll definitely win the South next year.
Ooh.
Sam, I apologise for Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. I thought it was a podcast. I would love the Jaguars to try and run Hunter both ways against Alec Pierce. Do it, because a tired Hunter trying to stop Pierce on a deep route, it's 7 points.
Can I just say, can we do this exercise again in August? Because at the moment I'm still so pissed off that I can't be high on it. I can't, even if I thought we are going to win the South, I wouldn't say it because I'm still pissed off with how the season went. So let me have a few months. Let's sign some players in free agency. Let's find a 4th round pick that Nathan gets overexcited about and sends me lots of messages about when camp starts.
Hey,
Justin Waller's back.
Justin Wally season.
Justin Waller's back next year. Exactly
Justin
this.
Wally season.
And then we'll do this exercise again in August when my anticipation is built, and I'll tell you how the Colts are going to win the fucking Super Bowl. But right now, I'm not in a good place.
Is that before or after Daniel Jones misses the start of training camp? Do you want to do it?
Ah, yeah, good point. Yeah. No, see, this is when Daniel Jones makes the fastest recovery ever from an Achilles injury. And we see him running on grass in April before he's before camp. Yeah. So, yeah, fair point, actually. That's when I see Riley Leonard in camp, just like balling out. And I'm just like, this is it. This is, he's taken us. And then we'll do this exercise again. And I'll still pick Jacksonville because I just can't get my heart broken again.
Like when AD Mitchell torched the Ravens secondary in that.
Started a riot. Started a legitimate riot. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm probably still a little bit annoyed and a little bit down. Or not down, it's probably the wrong word. But do you know what I mean? I think it's still a bit fresh in the memory about the Colts. I'm not saying I'm not optimistic because I always try to be optimistic. I just think it's hard at the moment to, both Jacksonville and Houston had such good seasons in the end. And our season fell apart so spectacularly. It's hard to kind of be really optimistic at this moment in time. That's probably where I'm at.
It's hard to take it seriously right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I think I was being so, Nathan about it, which is often sarcastic. It's like, I just don't as soon as it matters, Shane will lose the fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
It just that against Jacksonville twice, he'll fucking lose the game. And that's why we won't win the South. Will I be saying this when Wally lights up camp in summer? No. I'll be saying Sauce and Wally versus the fucking world.
Yes.
But, I'll say it now.
You don't forget Hunter Wooler as well. He'll be back.
Exactly, and that's just another guy we can kind of cling on to, right?
Probably why Nick Cross will go. They'll tell us that Hunter Wooler's going to be like, and like I say, we'll all buy into it.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
The Colts will start 4-0. Ballard will get signed to a new multi-year contract, and then we'll just all fall apart.
Oh no.
I think that's enough hyping for one day.
So
we've been going over 50 minutes now. It is the off season, so these shows are obviously going to be a bit shorter. Before we go, Sam, appreciate your time. Appreciate you coming on and helping me defend the Colts against these two Jacksonville Jaguar fans that have joined us. Ed and Nathan, any parting questions for Sam?
I suppose just if you wouldn't mind, obviously you mentioned your excellent guest you got coming on Thursday's Colts Beer. Are you going to still be going through the off season, or what are your kind of plans in terms?
Yeah, I think we'll obviously I think we've done a couple of post-season reviews, and I think I just don't want to hash it out anymore. To be honest, there's only so much you can relive the pain. So yeah, I think we'll start getting into free agents. We've got we'll have 3 weeks before free agency opens.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, hopefully. I mean, you never know. I mean, it feels like in the next 2 weeks we've got to at least hear about Jones and Pierce at this point, because neither of them are going to hit the open market, or you would assume neither of them are going to hit the open market the way they've talked about it. So, yeah, try and focus on free agents, maybe some draft stuff as well. I'm not really a massive college watcher, but I can at least talk to what the Colts need. So yeah, I think we'll start to focus on that.
Cool.
And Sam, any questions for us before you go?
No, just when are you going to rebrand this to a Jacksonville Jaguars podcast? I guess.
It's quite.
We've always maintained we're an AFC podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also
in all seriousness. No, we'll have to get you guys on. We'll have to do a big one, maybe a pre-draft one. We could try and all jump on.
I'm up for
that.
No, I was just going to say it's a double bluff, Sam. We spent all the last season off season blowing smoke up the Colts' ass, saying don't sleep on us. We're going to be brilliant. Everyone's writing us off. Blah 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 blah. So I'm just doing it to Jacksonville, mate. Don't sleep on them. They're going to be brilliant. Yeah.
Imagine how I feel that after we went 8-2, I said we're not going to lose out. We'll win at least 2 more games.
Oh, no.
And we lost every single fucking one.
I know. Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what the odds would have been on us losing out from 8-2. Could have made a pretty penny at least.
Anyway, I think we've had enough laughs. It's time to get out of here. I'm pulling over. I'm stopping the car. You can undo your seat belts and turn off the engine. Just before we go, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. People who like and share and comment on our stuff and on all our content. It means the world. It's been fantastic seeing the support over the past couple of months. Just rock it up on YouTube. We're really growing a community. So, like I say, subscribe, review. Reviews are the most important thing, whether you agree with Nathan and Ed or me and Sam. That doesn't matter. But a nice review, tell us what you think could do better and tell us some guests you'd like to see. But now that's all. And I guess joining us next Monday when I get completely excited by a college prospect who has a 9.999999 RAS score, but has played 1 game. See you all later.